Hello, everyone. For this prosperity, we're going to focus on taking back our power. So, if we have felt scattered or that we are wrapped up in other people's business, or if we are putting high expectations on people to change or transform, if we are in these kind of codependencies with people where we're like, reliant on them for emotional support, or they're relying on us for emotional support in a way that is unhealthy. Okay, because it takes away the responsibility for self. Okay, and it puts it on another person to be somewhat responsible for our well-being. We know that we are only responsible for our well-being. Our parents even are not responsible for our well-being. Okay. um, Also, if we feel like we're a victim to something, okay, that we are at a disadvantage, or there's some kind of limitation, and we're just really caught up in that space, like it's not happening because this, or it's not going to happen because of this, whatever that thing is that you're wrapped up in, that's just this real victim, like I can't get it, there's a block. There's no block. Everything is a breakthrough. It's just there's a divine timing. And the divine timing and the ways of the universe is so mysterious. You can't try figure it out. A lot of times we try to figure out why it's not working this way or moving this way, and we come to this conclusion that there's a block. Okay, and if we stay in that headspace for way too long, it becomes a block, because what you were projecting that out. Okay, so we want to be very careful about what we're saying to our challenges. If we're saying to our challenges, oh, it's a block, or and become a victim to it, that actually takes away a lot of our energy that we could use towards just being patient, building our creativity, learning about ourselves, okay, and growing. A lot of people spend so much time of it's the block, or it's not working because there's something in the way. And instead of, just giving all that energy, there's something in the way, just be patient with yourself, and do your creativity. There's so much you could do just in you with you, right? So I want us to really take back our power, pull back that energy, really pull it into ourselves. Because really, how we manifest is through a real high energy state, where we're really whole within our energy. When our energy is scattered, we're sending out all kinds of mixed signals to the universe. Okay, and the universe will respond by giving us kind of answers to these questions, and some of these questions are kind of like redundant, like we didn't really need a response to that, and we don't really need that in our life, right? It's kind of just scatteredness, right? So if we in anywhere in people's business, like I said, and we're trying to help people to be what we think we want them to be, have high expectations for these people to show up in a certain way in our life or in their own life. Okay, that can also be very tiring on the energy. Okay, also we're just going to focus on being in that free flow with ourselves. Okay, and that free flow is just you being with you. Okay, so there's stuff that's going on in the world, and we can invest a lot of time and energy and become very concerned. But then when that concern becomes anxiety, it becomes control, where we're trying to control something, and that can also be very tiring. So there's something about a balance. Like, we want to see into the window of the world and what's going on out there, but then we also want to be able to have a peace of mind so that we can be able to still live in a fulfillment, to not get caught up to the point where we feel so tired, so worn, and so much in this fear that we start becoming a victim to it, where we feel I can't live, or I can't be fulfilled, or I can't be joyful until whatever this thing happens, or this I fix this problem, right? Because, the world is always going to have another crisis. Okay, since the beginning of time on this earth, with our human interaction with it, we've had a crisis. Almost every single, era or age, there's been a crisis. And, on this duality planet, we can spend this light versus dark, for a very long time, and we do. But then there comes a point where we just got to pull back our energy, take back our power, as and as a lot of spiritual teachers have done. When we think of the Buddha, or we think about Jesus, and many other sort of spiritual teachers have taught us to just be content with what is. That's kind of a common saying, across many sort of spiritualities, be content with what is. Because the duality, the light versus dark, it's like we could do that, and that's fine. But then there also has, this return to a peace of mind is how we're really able to fulfill our journey, like our personal journey, our personal evolution. um, and that can involve family, children, whatever it is. But that's also important to have a real relationship with this earth beyond the duality, right? And I think that's very important. That's when we really take back our powers, when we have a real relationship with this earth, with ourself, that isn't constantly in this battle. It's not constantly in this light versus the dark, this good versus evil, because that's a major sort of motif for Earth and humanity for a very long time. Good versus evil, good versus evil, and we can really get scattered in that, trying to figure out all these problems. But then we lose our energy. We get tired, we get worn, and then we lose our imagination. Then without imagination, it's just life becomes, it's just, we're very numb, or we start to become very apathetic, you know and I think that's kind of where we're at in our society, is we have a lot of apathetic, because the pressure's so high, and because there's a lot of different crises going on this planet, and we feel you very like scattered, because we're all up in each other's businesses on the media stuff, and we're constantly like looking into other people's lives, and the TV lives, and the radio, or radio or reality, or all these different things. I feel like that contributes to why a lot of people are scattered. And then that also creates mental illness. When you're so scattered mind for too long, you have this personality splits, or you have this mental fog, or your mind is your mental illness in a way that you can't think clearly, or your mind is really loud, or your loud is obnoxious, your mind is obnoxious, your mind is always restless, people can't sleep. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we can't sleep, if we can't eat, like, our energy is way too scattered, and we can't fulfill anything if we can't even function. Okay, so we want to pull back our energy, take back our power, so that we can really become the most nourishing tree, I like to say, that we can, right? A tree, is a part of a greater ecosystem that is beyond self, but a tree really has a real sensible approach at taking care of self. Okay, and I think that's why the forest there's such a high nourishment, there's a high vibration to it, because every tree is very, very whole, is very self-reliant, is very independent. Is very its power is very connected to itself, and it has such a strong identity. Okay, every tree has such a strong identity of, like, I know what I'm doing, I grow, I take care of myself, I have to wither the snow or the drought or whatever it is. And I think it's very important for us to have a practice of a prosperity practice of just you with you. And, unapologetically just asking for something that really just makes you feel good. Because sometimes we ask for things that we think will make other people feel good, or that we somewhat want to attract, but then we somewhat like know that it's not necessarily for our highest good. But then we feel like we are responsible for someone, or We feel like we, we have to get them to do something to change, or, you know, even with other people's dramas and other people's, business, we, can find ourselves, wanting to manifest for them. But we know that doesn't work. So let's just get with you, okay? And just really pull back your energy through the prosperity. Just see, okay, what is it that I'm really wanting to call into my own life? And see, I'm just gonna be selfish, okay? But to really be selfish, we're coming from a sensible approach. When we're talking about usually selfish people in the genuine or the general, context of like someone who's like a narcissist, right? Is usually a person who's so scattered, who is so malnourished, who probably has restless thoughts, who probably has mental disorder, okay, who probably has some kind of ego addiction, in the way that they constantly need validation to feel enough. They're usually always triggered, usually always looking at other people's lives, always in control of something. And usually those people are very malnourished, like I said. They're very, very malnourished spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Okay, they may have all these things, and they may be doing this, that, and the other, and have appraisal for that, but mentally, emotionally, spiritually, they're very under maintenance. They're not taking care of that, okay? And they're filling their emotions and their thinking habits and their, sort of spiritual habits with this kind of constant externalized view of self from outsiders' point of view, right? Or their parents' point of view, or whatever it is that they're such in a haste to get, right? Or a haste to get a sensational, thrill with, right? The selfish I'm talking about is when you're really nourished. When you're really nourished mentally, emotionally, spiritually, you're not that narcissistic selfish where you're clenching, gripping to these things like a vampire, right? Or you constantly just kind of, self-importance just to feel like, you're alive or you have purpose, right? I'm talking about when you feel really nourished, like when you've listened to real good music, at the jazz club, and you just feel like selfish as in, man, I'm just gonna be a little selfish tonight, and I'm gonna pray for myself, right? And that is, what I'm saying? It's very, very different from, the selfish as in, I just want to keep taking and taking and taking and taking because it's never enough. Okay? Because I don't feel good about myself, because I don't feel important enough. And I'm gonna keep taking. This selfish is like, I'm so nourished, I just really want to, like, give myself a pat on the back. Or give myself a applaud. Or give myself, the opportunity to just really feel good. If it's dancing, or, going on a hot date, or taking an art class, whatever it is. It's usually when you are with you and having trying to have a good relationship with you. Okay, like, I'm thinking I'm going to go on this retreat just with myself, for a week or something. I'm going to take this road trip, this day trip to a magical place. That's what we would consider selfish, but that's very healthy. Okay, and that also is the same, the selfless is like when you feel so nourished, you're overflowing, and the selfless becomes just a thing you do, not even just trying, because you're so overflowing, like you're an overflowing cup, that just your presence is selfless. Because what you offer, what you give in exchange of energy or thought or word or, whatever it is so like, whoa. The person feels like they've been given something so precious, right? And that's what we're talking about, the difference is selfish people are narcissists. They're not overflowing water. right? They're not an overflowing chalice. Usually they have a little bit of water. You know what I'm saying? And they maybe have apathy. You know, maybe they feel really, really wrapped up into all this people's businesses. You know, they're entangled in these things. It's, you know, sucking them dry. Right? Okay, they're deceiving themselves about things. Okay, we're talking about your overflowing, that's, you've been so selfish to yourself. You're this overflowing chalice of nourishment, of this beautiful energy, and you're selfless in the way that you just kind of do something and people just get activated in a way that is like, gets them a shift in the mind, so much so where they just have major breakthroughs in the way they're thinking and feeling and with relationship with self. Or if they were this, you know, resentful human being, now all of a sudden they're just starting to feel a shift. And sometimes the greatest offering can be just a shift in perspective for people. You know what I'm saying? It's an internal thing that really is the real offering and the gift to another human being. Because that's what rules everything, your internal shift. Your internal perspective is what's governing your reality. So you could give a person $1 million, but if they don't have the internal shift or the internal perspective to be able to hold that caliber, it's not going to do anything really for them. It'll just go within a month. So the real, the offering, the real gift is to be able to offer an internal shift to someone's life, or a perspective shift. Because you could offer them this, you could be selfish and give them all this type of money, you could give them all this love, this support, but it's an eternal shift that really needs to happen for them to accept it and to know what to do with it. Okay? So that's what we're talking about, the selfish and selfless. Okay? It's where yourself is so filled up, you feel so in your joy that you transcend that your own joy, and you start to feel this eternal being, or, you know, this source energy, we'll say, where you no longer have a self. You're not self. You're selfless. You have no self. You're less of a self, right? And that's when you start to realize, you know, when you feel overflowing chalice, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it's like you feel this interweaving connection with all things. You feel this real connectivity. And therefore you feel, when you're like a tree system, when you're really nourished and you're really vital, you got a lot of good chi, healthy chi. It just, the connectivity is that because we're all connected, you know other people are feeling it, other people are receiving it. Right? And I mean, you can send it through your thought or, you know, your prayer, your feeling, but that's what I kind of see the selfless, less of a self, is like you start to realize that, you know, you are not your thoughts, your feelings, you're not your dramas, you're not other people's dramas, you're not this kind of attachment or this validation thing or this ego or this self-importance or your religion or your nationality, your authenticity. It's really, you are the energy that's moving through you, because your energy that moves through you, it has a shape that is you, your body, your mind, but that it can have no shape, and that same energy can move through somebody else, right? It's almost like a jazz song, you know. It's like, you know, one person plays that jazz song and they're like, whoa, it moves through them, but then another person can play that same jazz song and it moves through them. And of course it's different, right? It's not better or worse, but it's different, right? It's like that energy, that flow, that overflowing chalice is the self, but it's also the realizing that, you know, I am this, like, this pure energy, this real just offering of this this joy or this creativity, or I like to say, that overflows so much that it's like you realize, you know, regardless of what thoughts or feelings are coming up, that, you know, you are not those things. You are kind of this being that is the shift in you. It's like that's who you are. You're that point in you that's that shift in you. So we're going to focus on that. So just begin to bring the hands together and then inhale. Exhale. And just pull back your energy. Pull back your energy. Take back your power. Don't focus on a person, place, or thing, other people's business, what's on the radio, other people's social media, what people are saying, not saying. Just go back to you. Almost like when you're a child and you don't look at your phone ever. At least when I was a child. You don't look at your phone. You don't think about what your neighbors are doing. You're not trying to seek validation all the time. You're just in the state of like play, like you just learn and you grow and you receive and you give and you just participate, and there's no extra need to be self-important or to be constantly thinking in a way of externalized. Inhale. Exhale. And inhale to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Adgare Name, Jigadgare Name, Sadgare Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Adgare Name, Jigadgare Name, Sadgare Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Adgare Name, Jigadgare Name, Sadgare Name, Sri Gurudev Name. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. Inhale, nose. Exhale, mouth. And just drop your hands down. Kind of swing them forward and back. Just deepen the breath, full breath. And then just inhale, exhale, and open and close. Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pare, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame, Hara Hara Gobinde, Hara Hara Mukande, Hara Hara Udare, Hara Hara Pade, Hara Hara Hariyang, Hara Hara Kariyang, Hara Hara Naname, Hara Hara Kame. Inhale, stretch, press the tongue on the roof of the mouth, focus on the third eye, hold the breath in. Exhale and relax. Just close your eyes. Just feel into your breakthrough, that you are having a breakthrough right now, this very moment. Choose to have a breakthrough. Choose to have a breakthrough. Then chant Hud. 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 Look at the tip of the nose. Hud. 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 Chant very loud. Hud. 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 hud, 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 hud. Inhale, exhale, cross and recross. Right in front of the forehead, look at the tip of the nose, chant HUD mentally. Breathe long and deep. Inhale. Exhale. Bring the thumb on the pinky mound, fingers over the thumb, little backwards circles. Just chant God, 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 chant loud. God, 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 inhale. Exhale. Right hand in front of left, cross at the heart, the throat, look at the tip of the nose. Chant Har Hare Hari, Wa He Guru, 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 Har Hare Hari, Wa He Guru. Now whisper Har Hare Hari, Wa He Guru, 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 Wa He Guru, Har Hare Hari, Wa He Now whistle. Inhale. Exhale. Bring right hand on top of left. Inhale 8 to 12 seconds. Exhale 8 to 12 seconds. Focus on the third eye. Open the mind, open the heart, and clear it out. I am victory. Chant that through the third eye. Then inhale. Exhale. And relax. Inhale, deep side out. Inhale again. Side out. Last time. Inhale. Exhale. And I want you to bring your hands right here on the solar plexus, right hand over left. And I want you to pull back your energy. If you been feeling you're giving your power away, If you feel like you're giving your power away to other people's business, other people's dramas, your own drama, to victim mentality, to ideas that are blocking, right? That releasing that. We're going to work with this mantra, and we're going to really visualize ourselves in this very orange sphere, like we're inside this orange sphere of energy, and we're kind of bringing back the vitality. And I want you to feel like you're pulling this yellow energy into this this orange sphere. So I want you to visualize this yellow energy as you're gathering this yellow energy, and you're pulling it around you as it moves clockwise around you, spiraling this yellow energy. And repeat with me. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Sa re sa 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 re sa 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 re sa 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 ram. Hare hara hara hare hara hara hare hara hara haram. Inhale. Exhale and release the attachments. Cut the cords, visualizing you're cutting the cords. And just bring your hands right here, kind of towards the face, and just like little scissors, close your eyes and just feel as though you're cutting through anything that's taking away from your power. Any kind of attachments, ties, any kinds of entanglements, interlocks, cutting it. And just move your fingers like cutting, like scissors. Deepen the breath. Full breath. Inhale from the pelvis, up the abdominal, in the chest, the collarbone. And cut through. Feel your aura becoming smoother, shinier, more contained, consolidated. You are your own space. Cutting through weeds in the mind, weeds in our emotions. I'm not my thoughts, I'm not my emotions. Cutting through. See yourself as a gold chalice. Any sort of cracks or chipped pieces, you're gluing it, or not gluing it, you're putting gold, and you're filling up the cracks, the sort of pieces missing. You're filling up with this gold energy, consolidating, crystallizing your physiological energy. And then inhale, bring the hands on the top of the head. Exhale. Inhale, flip the wrists up, palms up, stretch up. Inhale deep. Exhale. Then stretch the hands behind you, rolling the shoulders back, interlacing the fingers, pressing the palms together. Try to bring the knuckles to the ground. Inhale. Exhale. And then twist to the left. Look behind you. Twist, twist, twist. Inhale. Exhale. Twist to the right. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, interlace in the back of the head. Press up. Exhale. Interlace the fingers, stretch it straight out. Inhale. Exhale. And then just stretch like you're pressing against a wall. Inhale. Exhale. And then press your hands to the ground in front of you like you're lifting up the butt. Inhale. Exhale. And then just move side to side like you're kind of running or jogging. You have to breathe fully. You're opening up the diaphragm, the lungs. You have to breathe fully, opening up the lungs. And really focus on that opening up the lungs, opening up the diaphragm. Again, you're going to breathe in from the pelvis, seeing the pelvis move, the abdominal area move, the chest move, the collarbone move, a full breath. I want you to look at my chest from the pelvis to the collarbone and see the movement. Last time. And then relax. And then last thing we're going to do is work with the mala beads. So again, you're just going to bring it in your left hand, go over each bead, thumb, index finger, 108 beads. We're going to work with this mantra, Aung Sung Waheguru, Aung Sung Waheguru. I'm going to go over each beads, close the eyes, and just connect to the energy of Aung Sung Waheguru, and just feel it giving you vitality, giving you clear energy. Aung Sung Waheguru, 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 Aung Sung Waheguru. Inhale. Exhale. And then a last little closing for the ceremony. Just listening to the music to open up the heart, open up the energy, and to release any kind of anything you feel like you need to release that's holding you back or keeping you scattered or confused or in this doubt or in anything that's just not making you feel fulfilled or happy. We're just gonna release it through the sounds. Okay, so just close your eyes and be in a state of prayer, in this state of receptivity.